is going on, everyone? So today's story is about UberEats in general as a company, and we are going to talk about the Uber robots. Now, yep, you heard me correct. Whether it's in the taxi department or the food department, I think this story plays a big part into both. But before we get into that, the Sun newspaper actually put out some information recently to show that UberEats is is the top paying company for a side hustle with the price mark of around 40,000 a year. Now, that information is provided to them by the same information that's provided to everybody else to see that what a company has done through the year, i.e. meaning how much profit they have made. Now, we're not actually going to look into the net worth of this man, but in general, we're going to find out who he is and what his actual story is. Just a little bit of information. Okay, that started off.
Dara Khosrowshahi is an Iranian-American business executive serving as the CEO of Uber since 2017. He is credited with transforming the company's culture and operations, expanding it into a global multi-service platform. Okay. Previously, he was the CEO of Expedia Group and held executive roles at IAC. Key details about Dara Khosrowshahi. Current role, CEO of Uber Technologies Incorporated, since September 2017, managing operations in over 70 countries. Previous experience, served as CEO of Expedia Incorporated 2005 to 2017 and CFO of IAC. Background, born in Tehran, Iran, in 1969, he moved to the US as a child. He has a background in engineering and finance. Impact on Uber, took over after founder Travis Kalanick, focusing on improving the company's toxic culture, addressing legal issues, and moving toward profitability. Board positions, has served on the board of directors for the New York Times Company, BET.com, and Hotels.com.
Okay, so with that information being provided, I didn't know this man worked for quite a few of these companies in any of the high positions that he has. That's new information to myself, which is quite interesting to see. And also, before anyone gets on to me, yes, this information was gathered by an AI overview, but it's provided from all of these stories here, so that's the only information we can really go off of who this gentleman is. Now, let's get into today's story where we discover how these answers come across. Now, the taxis that will be robotic taxis or robots working in the gig economy will also play a big part for the food industry.
Uber's CEO is betting the Robotaxi wars won't be won by ride-hailing alone. Alex Bitter. Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, at 4:11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time 3-minute read. In this article, Uber plus 1.75%. Deliveries could be key to making robotaxis work economically, Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said. Uber's food delivery and freight businesses could provide work to robotaxis, he said. Downtime is one of the challenges facing self-driving cars as they become more prevalent. UberEats might end up playing a key role in its parent company's Robotaxi business, Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said. The ride-hailing app is working with multiple companies, such as Alphabet-backed Waymo, to make self-driving cars available.
And before that continues, that same company they're talking about right now, Waymo, is actually available in London for people that want to get a taxi without actually having a driver behind the wheel. Also, before I do continue, I previously received some comments about Uber having separate applications for different parts of the world. I don't see this being true. It's one application. So for example, being now, if you're a taxi driver, your Uber application is going to allow you to have access to passengers, food, and parcels, right? You just have to turn the options on once you have access to them through your driver app. The only thing that changes with that being said is the servers that you have access to for around the world. But the application would always still be the same. Now, with Deliveroo and DoorDash, we're on DoorDash's servers, right? We work for DoorDash. The only difference is customers are aware of Deliveroo in the UK and the 12 other countries that they're a part of. So now what that means is that it's better for them, for DoorDash to keep Deliveroo as the brand name than to go and remarket it and might possibly lose some customers that are like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't down for that, but I would have ordered from Deliveroo. Do you understand? So why mess with the pattern that already works? You continue to push it. It's how you make your money back. There's no purpose in having multiple different apps for around the world. It doesn't make sense.
Available through its app. Waymo's Robotaxis have already proven more efficient than most human Uber drivers in cities such as Atlanta and Austin, Uber has said. One big question hanging over Robotaxis, though, is what happens to the vehicles during times of the day when demand for rides is low, Khosrow Shashi said on Uber's fourth quarter earnings call on Wednesday. He pointed to one solution: have them drive orders to customers through Uber's food delivery and freight businesses. Some delivery services, such as DoorDash, are also experimenting with robotaxis for food deliveries. Uber offers both ride-hailing and delivery, meaning robotaxis on its network could shift between the two as demand for each changes, Khosrow Shashi said on Wednesday. Having delivery and freight as part of our logistics ecosystem gives us an opportunity to actually use these vehicles at a structurally higher utilization than anyone else.
Now, what that tells me is that, okay, first of all, for the year of 2025, which obviously we're still just starting off 2026, we're in the second month, just started, but all of the information has been provided of how much profit Uber has made as a company. Now, that's how The Sun was capable of telling us that it's the highest paid part-time job for a side hustle, in other words, was the words that they used, within the 40,000 marker per year for a driver. Okay, now bear in mind, I don't believe they're going to pit the two fares into one. So for when they break it down, the taxi side of things would be one side and the food side would be another side, even though you still receive it on one application. Let's get into that, because I think they're about to give us the percentages of how that came around for what's about to happen.
Khosrow Shashi said, while ride-hailing accounted for over half of Uber's revenue in the fourth quarter, its delivery business grew by 29%, a faster clip than the 18% growth rate its ride-hailing segment posted in the same period. How efficiently companies use the autonomous vehicles that they put on the streets is one of the challenges hanging over the technology. Safety is another. Last month, a Waymo car injured a child near a school in Santa Monica, California, the latest in a series of accidents involving self-driving cars. Waymo said it is cooperating with a federal probe into the accident. While it doesn't operate self-driving cars...
So what's the consequences of AI running someone over? How does that end? Like, how do we know that the AI is being improved so that it doesn't do this again? Because how was it able to do it in the first place? Is there more information to that story? I reckon we'd have to check out. As much as I don't want to. Hopefully the child's okay, but I just don't get how the AI is capable of doing something like that.
Cars directly, Uber is experimenting with ways to train the AI behind robotaxis using data it collects from human drivers, Khosrow Shashi said. Uber has a partnership with NVIDIA to collect that data, for instance. Last month, Uber said it would launch AV Labs, an arm focused on similar training efforts.
Now, okay, I know that quote there is probably going to irritate quite a few people, but let me just clarify. Uber would have put it into our contracts that they have the right to use that data to train the AI. So unless we didn't read the contracts and you weren't made aware of that information, you are now. So, yeah. In other words, like, wait, so the data from the drivers is how people... Because I always used to think that it's someone with a controller like this, watching the screen, driving the car around the city, you know? Like, monitor here, so that they can see every part of the car, like they would be driving it in real life. Because have you guys ever seen the video of a dog driving a car on a racetrack? You got to check it out if you haven't. Just put it into YouTube. But let's continue with this story.
Efforts. Khosrowshahi said the goal is to make self-driving cars more reliable and avoid situations such as last year's Waymo blackout in San Francisco, when a power outage prompted the company to suspend services. The real world can create unexpected circumstances, he said. Robotaxis also require infrastructure to store, charge, and repair.
Of course.
Some companies, such as startup Volterra, are building depots for those purposes in anticipation of a robotaxi boom in the coming years.
Okay, so it's no secret the robots are here. The interesting thing is there's a story here, right, that was put together, and it basically gives us a lot of information about the same category of a car, which is a robot taxi, and what they're actually capable of doing. Now, Tesla made a lot of money. So let's watch this video. It's 2 minutes long. And we're going to take in what exactly they've been doing. Okay, we're at the wrong part.
Tesla released its first quarter earnings report yesterday. Tesla reported revenue of $19.34 billion, which is a 9% year-over-year decrease and below analyst expectations of $21.43 billion. Auto revenues were down 20% year-over-year. Elon Musk started the call hot by addressing Doge controversy and backlash. He also announced that starting next month, he'll be spending
Hold on, that's down. That's still a lot of money, though.
significantly less time with the organization.
I'll continue to spend a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so, and as long as it is useful.
Tesla CFO said part of the earnings miss was due to lost production tied to the Model Y refresh. He also said vandalism and anti-Tesla hostility had an impact in certain markets. Tesla also gave updates on the upcoming Robotaxi service launch in Austin.
That car
The
looks
company
nice.
said it would start with 10 or 20 Model Ys on day one. Remote operators will also be involved at the launch to help with safety concerns. Tesla has promised to begin production of more affordable models in the first half of 2025. It didn't show off any of the upcoming models, but it did say that it's still on track to start production on that timeline. Tariffs were also brought up multiple times throughout the call. Musk said that Tesla is the least affected company when it comes to tariffs, but it can still be tough on a company when margins are low. The CEO also said that he's an advocate of predictable tariff structures as well as pre-trade and lower tariffs.
I just want to emphasize that the tariff decision is entirely up to the President of the United States. I've been on the record many times as saying that I believe lower tariffs are generally a good idea for prosperity, but this decision is fundamentally up to the elected representative of the people, being the President of the United States.
During the call, Musk also said autonomy will start to affect Tesla's bottom line mid-2026, and he expects thousands of Optimus robots in Tesla's factories by the end of this year. Tesla also said during the call that even though it experienced economic strain in California, it remained the best-selling car.
Now, you see, the thing is, right, with the Teslas, the high-spec Teslas, I believe you can get the self-driving in the car already, which is based the same technology that is making more advanced, so that you don't need someone behind the wheel. Funny enough, I recently seen a video going around of where someone was in the taxi and they decided to get behind the driver's wheel and the car wouldn't move. It was basically putting out a message to say that you can't be there, get out of the driver's seat. But that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, I guess you can go and check it out for yourself. But this is happening. The robot taxis are coming to the food industry, and we also know that the food industry is more busy than the taxi service. So if you're a taxi driver, leave us a comment and let us know, what do you do more often? Would it be the taxi fares or would it be the food deliveries? And do you choose to turn off certain parts of them, etc. like that? Leave it in the comments. Otherwise, from that, thank you for watching.